Yo, 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 what's good, Guru Nation? Spencer the Guru in the building here live on the Spencer the Guru channel and the Gen Wealth Net. Shout out to everyone watching here. We are live and also available to watch on the replay. So if you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning in late. If you're live with us, well, that's even better. You'll be able to comment live and give us your thoughts. We've got a stacked panel tonight. We got Bogey and Hard to start, JD. Shout out to the fellas, man. We're going to have a lit show tonight. Going to be talking NFL draft, finishing up the mock draft from last week. We did picks 1 to 16 last week, got through that. And so tonight we're going to cap it off with 17 to 32. Also got a little bonus pick, first pick of the second round. Got some thoughts on that. But yeah, we're going to get into this here and do to finish this mock. So yeah, we're going to run the intro real quick. Shout out. Had a little technical difficulty there. All right, we're good now. And so, yeah, we'll do this intro real quick, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes. Finish this draft, y'all. Strap in.
Prime one, that's him. Sky, thought you thought, but I wasn't born yesterday. All I do is ball. You goofies underestimate. Heavyweight bag, step on your weight class. I done moved across states, but I can't cap. Strap put it on my pivot, clocking digits. Rock hard and I ain't even in the kitchen. I'm on a mission to move soft, make a thing flip like a moonsault. Keep a switch for everybody through salt. Face froze, somebody check dude pulse. Is you stepping or stepped on? Wake the game up, make them regret I was slept on. Bogey's world, welcome to a new dawn. Till I move up, I can never move on. Big bread got me bougie past the great poop on. I'm getting over while you busy fighting over croutons. Yeah, bogeyism, a true boat brother gon' get it. All this water got me tripping. Hella fish scale, but I ain't fishing. See I move with precision. When it comes to living, I'm the definition. If I stand for one thing, it's on business. Bogeyism, it just hit different. Yeah, it just hit different. You find my story is all non-fiction. I put my fam before me and I gotta mention. I keep an air fan tone my henchman. For you squares, option for opposition. And you ops I get popped trying to stop my ascension. Talking generational, you got my attention. Underworld motivational, you feel the sensation. Try and see how I look, get booked, I'll take it. I was just a crook, all it took was some patience. Now my phone off the hook, I got hella deals waiting. You ain't really made it unless you got somebody hating. Bogey's world, welcome to a new dawn. Till I move up, I can never move on. Big bread got me bougie past the gray poop on. Getting over while you busy fighting over croutons. Yeah, bogeyism, a true boat brother gon' get it. All this water got me tripping. Hella fish scale, but I ain't fishing. See I move with precision. When it comes to living, I'm the definition. If I stand for one thing, it's on business. Bogeyism, it just hit different. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Appreciate that intro track from Bogey. And so let's bring him out, y'all. Bogart Scott Free. What's happening, man?
Hey, and we're back.
We are so
I feel like perpetual light is shining upon me.
Hell yeah, man. What it do? We got a lit chat up in here. Before we say what's up to the chat, let's bring in Hard to start, JD. What it do, man?
Fellas, what's going on, man?
The fella.
What's heading to the
Guru Nation.
Yes, sir.
That was dope.
Woo!
Good timing on that.
Come on now.
Yeah, man. We in the building, man. 100%. Yes,
Don't
indeed. So,
mind me,
yeah.
I gotta roll this wood.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, pick 17 to 32. For those just tuning in, we're going to do a little mock draft to finish off last week's mock draft. Before we do that, let's shout out the chat. We got Emil up in here. Shout out Emil. What up? What up, Guru
What's up, bro,
Nation?
bro? Canada, stand up.
Yes, yes. And shout out to Ear to the Streets.
Hey,
Hold up.
Yeah, shout out to Ear. And let's just address this, y'all, before we get into the show, man. Had a terrible tragedy this morning. Rest in peace, Kyron Lacey took his own life. Unfortunate, very unfortunate situation there. So rest in peace to little bruh. He was,
Peace, buddy.
yeah, that was, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, we, I'll be real with y'all. I haven't read enough about it to really give my thoughts. Maybe later I'll give some more opinions on this, but for now, we're just going to leave it at a rest in peace to Kyron, man. The shame, but rest in peace to the kid. I'll just leave it at that.
Rest in peace, bro.
Yeah, rest in
Facts.
peace, man.
For sure. But Peacock's in the house, y'all. Shout out to the Peacock. Got the Change Your Vibes join on. You can only get that exclusively at neonpeacockmerch.com. Facts.
Yeah,
gang
man.
in the
Shout out to
building,
Neon
man.
Peacock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate all y'all up in here. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing kicked off here. But before let me show y'all Albert. We gotta shout out Albert before we get going. What up, Al? Appreciate you, Al. And Bakes pulled up. Shout out to Mr. Bakes a lot.
Hey,
Big bruh.
happy Sunday to everybody.
Come on now.
Big
Yes,
Bakes.
Yes, indeed. So speaking of Bakes, the Raiders, we talked about the Raiders last week, picks 1 to 16. So we're going to recap that real quick. At pick 1, I had Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. Then at number 2, Abdul Carter to the Browns. Then at 3, Travis Hunter to the Giants. 4, Armand Membu to the Pats. At 5, I had Mason Graham to the Jags. 6, Ashton Jeanty to Bakes' Raiders. At 7, Tyler Warren to the Jets. 8, Jalen Walker to the Panthers. 9, Shador Sanders to the Saints. That was before the card news broke, by the way.
Perfect timing.
Yep. Number 10, Kelvin Banks
I made
to the
the phone
Bears.
call.
11, Michael Williams to y'all's Niners. 12, Omarion Hampton to them Boys. 13, Will Campbell to the Dolphins. 14, Colston Loveland to the Colts. 15, James Pierce to the Falcons. And 16, Jade Brown to the Cardinals.
Jade Brown.
Yeah.
So,
we got more homies up in here. Ghost Monkey. What's up,
Big
Ghost?
Ghost?
We got Kidda, Guru Nation.
Good cat,
Appreciate you,
man.
Kidda Cat. Yes, sir. And Derek, salute.
Salute, big bruh.
What up, Derek?
Yes, sir. Philly, stand up. We'll have Philly. That'll be our last pick there at pick 32. So, yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you a question. So when you go back to this 16, this time last week, has there anything that you think has changed? Like would you update anything from your mock so far?
Not too much, because I mean, like the Shador thing, I feel really confident about now that I'm sure all y'all heard Derek Carr shoulder injury, likely going to have surgery and miss the 2025 season, making the Saints QB need even that much more pressing.
Wow.
Where I feel like Shador, if he's there, is all but a lock to go number 9 to my Saints. So
can I give you my theory?
What's up?
Can I give you my theory?
Yeah, go ahead, big bro.
Hey, y'all gonna start Rattler so y'all can bring Arch home next year.
Oh, we just might.
I like that theory too.
We might just take it all the way.
Team. Card taking one for the team. He gonna get all his money this year. Fuck it. Let me go ahead and tie it out next year. Y'all can go ahead and bring in Arch.
Somebody shook his hand real hard. Now broke his shoulder. Like, listen, you're doing a great service.
Yeah,
my bad, big bro.
No, I mean the Manning family's football royalty down here, so it wouldn't shock me. But yeah, I just feel like though with Shador, it's like if he's there at 9, it's a value. But the thing is, now that the league knows that the Saints are kind of desperate for a QB, I feel like someone might trade up with like Carolina at 8 or the Jets at 7 and jump the Saints. Someone like the Steelers that would really want Shador potentially. That if they just decide they're out on Aaron Rodgers, I believe Ear to the Street said today the Steelers are growing impatient with Rodgers, and that my Saints could be a potential Rodgers destination. I doubt it. I don't see that happening.
Rodgers indoors. Let's go.
And you know what else too, big bro? It also allows New England not to trade out because their price is going to be higher now that you're more QB. Your team is more QB needy. It's more cheaper to trade maybe with the Jets, maybe with the Raiders, or maybe
the Raiders might
like
trade
you said
down.
with Carolina pick before y'all instead of trying to go up to the number 4 spot because New England might want to be one of them teams that might want to trade down. It might not be nobody unless Carter or Travis fall to them. Then they might want to trade out. Jacksonville, they might want to trade out because the player they eyeing might want to be in the teams or something like that. So it makes it a little bit more harder for y'all to wait on him because it might be like you said the Steelers or something because it's a little bit more cheaper to trade at that that 6, 7, 8 spot than it is to try to go all the way up to 4 to go get him or the 5 pick which is Jacksonville, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jacksonville's at 5. I have them taking Mason Graham, which he's a beast, so I could see Jacksonville just sticking at 5. But like the Raiders,
we've been rumored to trade up to 5 with Jacksonville to go get Mason Graham with a lot of 49ers content.
Oh, okay, bet. Yeah, so y'all need defensive line help. I got y'all going with the edge rusher, Mike.
I love that pick. I love that pick 100% because he can play the off ball as well as rush the pass on everything. You know what I mean? And you can get you a D tackle a little bit later too, or trade back into them because they got a lot of draft capital as well too.
Facts. Oh man, yeah, this got
I like how you got 2 tight ends in the top 15 though. I ain't mad at that.
Right, yeah, Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren, man. I think they're both legit prospects, and the Jets obviously really need a tight end. They've been needing one. Kind of taking Brock Bowers probably would have been the smart move for them, but they did really need O-line. So, I believe it was Alu Fashanu was his name, the Penn State guy. He'll be a full-time starter for them this year. If he pans out, then they won't regret that pick. But, it's just one of those things this year, though. They really need it. Tyler Conklin's out of there. So Tyler Warren makes a lot of sense for them, I feel like. And then the Colts, Kyron, what's his name? Kylan Grant. I can't remember the boy's name. The tight end he left. He signed somewhere else. Granson, I think. Yeah. Y'all know who I'm
Kyle
talking
Granderson?
about.
No.
Kylan Granson, was that his name? Yeah,
okay.
Kylan Granson. He signed with the Eagles.
Okay.
He's the Eagles' backup tight end now. And so now the Colts, they brought back Mo Alley Cox, but he ain't a starter, that's for sure. So he's just a blocker. They need a legit starting tight end. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Emil Kylan Granson. And so I feel Yeah, they need the real son, Colston Loveland, to come in there. I think he's gonna be their savior at that position. They need help there for sure.
That Raiders pick, that'll be very nice for them.
Okay, Banks is saying he would prefer Will Campbell. Okay, I had Will Campbell slipping a little bit due to arm length concerns, but I feel like I'm probably sleeping on him a little bit. That's one thing. Remember, Bogey, to answer Bogey's question from earlier, if I had to redo something, I'd move Will Campbell up to 10. I'd put him there and then move the other guy, the Texas guy, down to 13. I think Will Campbell is going to be a top 10 picks, and he might go 100%. As high to the Raiders at pick 6.
And he's only like a quarter of an inch. It's real small of him missing the 33
really
inches.
Not that much, yeah.
On everything.
Yeah, so honestly, I probably overreacted there. My bad, y'all. So I have Campbell on a revised version. I have Will Campbell going 10 to the Bears because I still think the Raiders are going to go Jeanty. But, I could see Bakes' take being right because the Raiders could use offensive line help too.
It's also because, there's hella running backs. Maybe
it's a deep class. Yeah, for sure. And then I have Hampton going to Dallas, and so if Jeanty falls to 12, I feel like Uncle Jerry's gonna be, come on, y'all, get that picky right now. Best running back.
He's already gonna have him on. He's gonna have him via satellite. Yeah. They're like, we can send him. We can make a phone call, FaceTime. Like, no. I got him via satellite. He's still like old tech.
We got to see the facts.
Why you got the old tech and you a billionaire?
Right?
It's because years ago he bought hella satellites and he just got them in orbit for that reason.
Come on now.
Oh boy. But yeah, no, for sure. I could see that because Mimbu, it looks like the consensus top offensive tackle now. Got him going forward to New England because they definitely need an offensive tackle. But maybe they'll instead go Will Campbell if they feel like he's the best one. And then maybe Mimbu would go 6 to the Raiders at that point.
I agree with you, though. They're going to get someone to protect that kid.
Yeah, they got to protect Drake May. I think if assuming Hunter and Abdul Carter are going at 2 and 3, which that seems to be the way the tea leaves are blowing, then I think dude's gonna be 4. Mimbu, best available O lineman, because that's what they need. They need to protect the kid, like y'all said.
Yeah, I ain't disagreeing with that for sure. Ain't nobody else on the board for them to reach for. Go ahead and protect the young bull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for the record, the more and more I'm buying into Travis Hunter as a receiver, I want him to go to New England.
I know, right? Or even Cleveland, although Jerry Judy emerged. And just it kind of sucks if he ends up with the Giants. Like, although if it's Jameis,
number 1 over there, like Travis Hunter for real, like.
Yeah, like if it's Jameis though with the Giants, like there'll be enough to go around.
Yeah, the Giants and the Patriots is a sweet spot for Travis.
Yeah, I think the Giants I think that's where he lands. I got him at 3. But yeah, we shall see. But yeah, let's get into 17 to 32. We're at 17. Hold on, I'm just trying to get back in the swing of things. Here's the off season, so we're just getting back at it. But yeah, Cincinnati, y'all, the Bengals picked 17, and they got all their hitters locked up on offense: Joe Shiesty, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. So that being said, they really need help on the defensive side of the ball because the offense was not the issue last year. It was the defense. They fired their longtime DC, Lou Anarumo, brought in, I forgot their new DC, but
it's Al Golden. It's Al Golden. He used to coach the Hurricanes. That's why I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Facts. So yeah, Golden, he's in there now. He's going to beef up the pass rush, especially with Trey Hendrickson, potentially being on his way out. But even if he comes back, they still could use help at that position. So that being said, I got the Bengals going Shamar Stewart, edge rusher from Texas A&M.
I like that. And if they can retain Hendrickson, they all of a sudden have like a nasty duo right there.
Right. And then you got Miles Murphy, their first round pick from a couple of years ago. If he could, him and Stewart can kind of rotate. But if he doesn't pan out, then Stewart will probably be pretty much an every down player. With Sam Hubbard is retired. He retired. So they're going to really be dependent on Miles Murphy and the other boy. They have that guy they re-signed who is a pretty good pass rusher. I was pulling up the depth chart real quick. Joseph Osei.
Oh, that's my cousin.
They had re-signed. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Jose.
Yeah. But if you bring in Shamar Stewart, then that makes Osei and Miles Murphy, they can just be depth pieces because then you have Hendrickson and Stewart as the primary edge rushers. Then you all of a sudden go from pass rush being maybe a little bit of a weakness to now it's a big-time strength if Stewart pans out right away as a rookie.
Yeah, they got pan out. That's one of the key words for their draft for the next 2 years, especially with all these defensive players that they need to add to this defense. 100%. They're going to have to go straight defense, make sure they get a whole bunch of youth and make sure that them picks hit because with the money that they got allocated in them 3 players and then Chase Brown in the next 3, this is his second year coming up. No, was he a rookie last year? Was Chase Brown a rookie?
No, this will be his 3rd year.
It's his 3rd year. It is there. So he's trying to get paid next year too. So 100%, you know what I mean? You're going to have a lot of.
I'm going to keep it all the way a buck. I feel like somewhere in this draft, the Bengals are going to take a running back.
I think so because
I really don't want them to because I love Chase Brown and I have all the Chase Browns. But even just them bringing in P. Ryan, they said we're going to try to have a 1-2 punch. That doesn't necessarily mean with him and P. Ryan, right? Because I would love that if it was him and P. Ryan only, you know what I mean? Because I could say that Chase Brown would get majority of it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If not next to all of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely gonna try and run him before they gotta pay him 100%. They gonna make him earn that contract.
Let's go.
If they want to pay him, and like you said, they might take a running back later on in the draft. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times too, that could be just to leverage down the road when it's time to pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like last year with the Bills, they did that when they took Ray Davis, even though they had James Cook, and now James Cook wants to get paid, but they're kind of playing hardball with him because, they got Ray Davis, who, like, if Cook would walk, shoot, I feel like Ray Davis would be a solid running back for them.
We seen the Jets draft 2 running backs last year, and them running backs both got worked, and they looked all right when they got first in.
Isaiah Davis, because Brees last year was a little bit of a bust because he wasn't horrible, but he didn't live up to that really high ADP, and I think a lot of that had to do with they drafted those guys, and
I'm all about Brees this year.
His workload, he's a good bounce back candidate.
Contract year.
Yeah, they're gonna run him more this year, I would think, but it's one of those deals to where we don't really know what this play caller, what the carries are gonna look like. So I feel like with Brees, I'm not touching him until the 3rd round at the earliest in a regular, 12-man single QB. I think I'd almost rather Chase Brown over Brees. I feel like with the Bengals, they tend to run one guy, and it's what their offense is going to be.
And Brees is getting, Chase is getting a lot of the receiving work too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Braylon Allen thing concerns me with Brees. I feel like Brees next year, I don't think I would draft him as an RB1. I think he's more of a high-end RB2 who definitely could be an RB1. He's shown to have RB1 upside. There's no denying that. I just feel like he's a little risky to be a true RB1.
Chase Brown or Brees Hall? You're on the clock.
I think Chase Brown. I'm going Chase Brown right now.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm going Chase Brown.
I draft running back, but I swear they are. Like, at least I hope they don't.
We'll have plenty of time to break all that down after the draft. But I feel y'all though, as far as Chase Brown, I think is someone that is in a good spot to shine this year, being that this will be his 3rd year, so not a contract year, but getting close to that. And James Cook, I think this year was James Cook's 3rd year, and look how he did. So that 3rd year breakout's real. Yeah,
and James Cook wasn't even really flashing like that, like Chase Brown was. Chase Brown's rookie year, he was already. He started off the year on the IR, but when he got off, he was down there split 50-50 with Mixon to close it up. But it was the Browning experience.
He closed out the season. Wasn't it Chase Brown that closed out that season?
Yep. And Joe Mixon was there too, but the splits were damn near 50-50. So and he was producing as a flex. Then last year obviously he got the whole. But he had to wait a little bit, kind of because of Zach Moss. But it's pretty much firing out the gate as the red zone got even.
Yeah, remember I melted down on one of the fucking streams because I had Zach Moss, and it was like week 3, week 4. I melted down. Chase Brown, Zach Moss get their ass down there. He can't get score on the first down. In come Chase Brown, little veer route. You know what I mean? And it was over from then. Week 4, it was a wrap. Week 3, it was his backfield. Oh my!
Also hot when I couldn't get my hands on some goddamn. I was hot in drafts when motherfuckers was beating me to Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. I had a few shares. I wish I'd had more. I had too many Zach Moss shares, admittingly. That was. I was thinking Zach Moss was gonna be the guy at least for the first half of the season, but then he fell off and then he got injured. Yeah, he was a total bust.
I like how he filled in for JT.
They gave him a pretty decent bag. That to me, the logic was that I figured. He would at least for the first 8 games be a solid RB2, and then I figured he'd probably lose the job at that point. But I was hoping he could have provided a little more production than he did, unfortunately. But we live and learn. Just looking back on it, I should have been more in on Chase Brown. So,
hey, iron sharpen iron. This is why we had these conversations.
100%.
This year, like going back to before you move on, just. I really do like if Carolina doesn't address it with another running back, because then it's like just have Chuba at one point, who's a decent value, then you could easily cuff him with Rico way later. You know what I mean?
Man, so I was listening to the fantasy footballers yesterday on the way to the
Okay,
bed,
I haven't fucked with them in a minute.
and they got so on a satellite radio they got a fantasy channel, and so I just happened to turn because the fucking one of the other channels I was listening to was talking about UFC, and I wasn't really trying to hear that shit. So I slid through, happened to find the fantasy channel they own. So it was Chuba, Kamara, and Ken Walker, who would keep trade cut out of them three.
Redraft or dynasty?
The redraft. This is redraft.
Okay,
talk.
that's easy for me.
Redraft talk.
Yeah, I would say it was Kamara, Ken Walker.
It was Kamara, Ken Walker, and Chuba.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna keep Chuba. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna keep Chuba. I'm gonna trade Walker, and I'm gonna cut Kamara.
Wow, I'm the opposite on that. I'd keep Kamara because I think he's still gonna be the Saints' primary. I'd trade Ken Walker and then I'd cut Chuba because I think Rico is going to have a role in that backfield.
But they paid.
That's what one of the fantasy footballers said about Rico.
Chuba.
But
I know. I mean, the Kamara's paid too, and he's got a track record.
Did get the bag at the end of the year, and with the quarterback situation, there's going to be a lot of dump offs to come.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe this question is you have to circle back around because I think
we'll have to circle. Yeah, let's. We'll have to circle back around until because the Saints might take a running back early.
But also, when Ken Walker on the field, though, Ken Walker nasty though. That's the thing too, though. You know what I mean? It's just that Brett will be on the field.
Right. I feel like that's why I trade him because someone's going to buy the hype with Ken Walker, but I tend to avoid players like him because I feel like they're just too risky. The way he runs, he's so injury prone. He's pretty much guaranteed to miss a handful of games.
Chuba earned my respect.
No, Chuba's a badass. Like, I'm not saying it's a tough question. I mean, that's why they asked it. I mean, it's not going to be an easy
what's crazy
choice.
Me in Carolina is that when you paid Chuba last year during the season, you pay him 2 weeks later, maybe 3 weeks later, Brett goes down to injury. Jonathan Brooks. And then in the offseason, but see what that told me right there, that they were going to hold on to Chuba and they had some kind of form of 1-2 punch. So the fact that they're bringing in Rico, maybe Rico's role is actually bigger than I first.
It is because if you look at Chuba's usage the last 2 years. Last year it was over 300 touches, and the year before that it was over 280 or at 280 or something like that. Wow, so you know what I mean? It that's probably one of the reasons why they bring Rico in. Now, whether it's to spell him or whether it's to be a 50-50 role, we don't know because we ain't even in the camp OTAs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yet, you know what I mean? Bruh has had a lot of.
We will see, like if Rico's with the ones as well, then it'd be like, okay, we should expect some significant type of timeshare. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, right now I currently have them Kamara as RB13, Walker as RB17, and Chuba as RB20.
Okay.
They're not too far apart. That's a damn good topic.
I think Chuba can jump up though if he gets over 250 touches. I think he's a high-end RB2 at minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's address Bake's question real quick, and then we'll move on to pick 18. He says, "What's going on with Taysom Hill now that Juwan Johnson got a 3-year bag and Derek Carr is injured? Is Taysom going to still be the Swiss Army knife in New Orleans?" All right, so I'll start with his first part about the Taysom Hill suffered a season-ending torn ACL last year, and possibly MCL. It was a pretty bad knee injury. Basically, he's going to miss at least 4, maybe up to 8 games to start 2025. So I feel like with Taysom, he still could get cut. He's still a potential cut candidate unless he restructured. Someone could fact check me on that, but he may have restructured.
He's coming off that injury.
Right. Then he may take a little pay cut. He's been a Saint for a long time. So I would think they'll be able to work something out with him where I think he'll still be on the roster. And then by mid-season, I think he'll still, I still think he'll be that Swiss Army knife, but he's not someone I'd target for fantasy because he's going to probably miss like half.
Every time they need a Because now they have Kellen Moore there. Every time they need a tush push, they're gonna put Taysom Hill out there.
Facts, yeah. I think that could really open things up for him down the stretch. And then Jawan Johnson, he's okay. I mean, he's not a top 12 tight end, but he's someone, if you're in a streaming situation, your tight end's on bye week. He's a decent dart thrower. And Carr injured his shoulder. We talked about that early in the show. He's likely out for the season. They're saying where the Saints will probably.
How did he hurt his shoulder?
No one knows. No one's really. It's real. Like no one's really saying what happened with that. Like it's kind
of arm wrestling competition.
It was a handshake. Look, bro, sit this season out. We gonna go with the
rap handshake, huh?
Yeah.
Bring it in. Yeah. Right when Kellen Moore met him. Give me a shake my hand. Kellen Moore just starts squeezing his hand too, real hard.
Yeah, pulls his shoulder. Yeah, it's like, gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
Facts. Yeah, Taysom. Yeah, I think he'll restructure his knee/contract. Yeah, he will. He will. So I think he'll still be a Saint. And I feel you guys need to pick up Loveland in round 2 or late round 1 if you guys aren't confident in Jawan. Nah, we gave Jawan enough of a bag. I don't think we're going to mess with an early tight end. We gave Jawan a solid bag. We have other needs.
He's a great late round target for tight end leagues. For real.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think you say like the NFL draft, but no, for sure. Loveland, I think if he goes to Indy or somewhere that could use a tight end, he'll be good. But let's move on to 18. If y'all didn't notice, Tet McMillan, I did not have in the top 16 picks. I had him sliding a bit, but the slide will end here at pick 18 as I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Mr. McMillan. A great value at pick 18. Just the way the board fell, I just didn't really see any obvious landing spots for him in the top 16. Obviously, he's a top half of the first round talent. It's just this was a weird year as far as the way it just kind of played out, I feel like. So I got Tet here at 18. Seahawks obviously really need a receiver with both DK and Lockett gone. They brought in Cooper Kupp and MVS, but neither of those are really long-term solutions. JSN is really their only cornerstone at the position. And so I feel like you draft Tet. He's a bigger guy. It kind of complements JSN. And then you got the veterans Kupp and MVS to where your receiving core is looking pretty nice there for the Terminator Darnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the Terminator.
Right? Because, we all know he's
live.
capable of cooking if he's got weaponry. I mean, he cooked last year when he had all those weapons in Minnesota, and they bring in Tet here. I mean, he'll have, JSN, Tet, Kupp, MVS, Noah Fant. He'll have a pretty good cast of weapons there.
With the run game, too, though. That's another thing.
Ken Walker and Charbonnet. Charbonnet is a very solid backup running back there who's capable. He was pretty hard whenever Ken Walker went down. So, I mean, whenever Ken Walker is hurt, Charbonnet is pretty solid there. So, I mean, it's one of those things where they need offense. So the bottom line is they need a receiver. And I just feel like if McMillan's there, you freaking run to the podium with that pick. There's no guarantee he'll be there at 18. He could definitely go out earlier than this, but I have him falling here. And Double E from Ohio State. You have 2 Ohio State receivers paired together with Emeka Egbuka. I may have butchered his last name. My apologies if so, but
you call him the Books.
Yeah, the Books.
Or like we might call him Pick-a-Books.
I actually do have him, spoiler alert, I actually do have Double E slipping a good bit, but I actually have you guys taking an offensive lineman, Peacock. So, yeah. But what are y'all thoughts on Tet to Seattle? Y'all think that's a good fit?
I like it.
Perfect for fantasy for sure, bro.
It's like 100%. DK without the athleticism.
And we mentioned that before the show earlier today. Me and Bogey were chopping it up, and I kind of was saying that's the only everything else is live. The only thing I revealed was that I had Tet McMillan to the Seahawks, and you had mentioned that about he's like a less athletic DK.
Yeah, but DK was like a 2-trick pony coming out of college. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He used more of his athletic. He couldn't really run the full route tree like that. He wasn't a polished receiver yet. versus Tet is like he's a polished receiver. He just don't got the break. He don't got the crazy speed. He's definitely a size guy, and his contested catching is you know what I mean? So it's not like he's big for nothing. I think like I would comp him to like a London even.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as we see with London, he's finally blossoming here. So as a rookie, you know, it's gonna be the JSN show there.
And that's where I was gonna go, big bro, because they don't got no tight end over there. JSN 140 targets, 100 receptions, bro, 100%. You know what I mean? Highly efficient, even though it's with a different quarterback. You come in with this system, this stretch, this Gary Kubiak, Clint Kubiak, you come with his system, it's gonna be a lot of run off the play action. Who gonna be one of the first looks? It's gonna be JSN, whether it be the short to intermediate route or if it's on a deep threat, it's gonna be JSN as the number one look. They phased out Tyler. They shipped off motherfucking DK for a second round. You bring in an OG and Cup. The writing is on the wall that JSN is the number one wide receiver over there. And if they bring in Tet, that don't scare me off 100%, bro. So yeah,
I think when they bring in Tet, it'll actually drive even Cooper Cup being there along with Tet. That's enough that people might even drop JSN a little bit, and I love it even more.
Yeah, for sure. I think JSN, he's a very safe floor. He's a safe WR1. My early rankings in redraft, I have him WR10, right behind Nico Collins and right ahead of Brian Thomas.
I like it.
So, yeah, JSN's legit. And yeah, Ted, I think, will just compliment him. So, yeah, I think this would be a nice landing spot for him. Other landing spots I could see for him in the top 16, I could see him going as high as, where's the order? I could see him going as high as, honestly, a Carolina at 8 if they decide they want to go offense. I mean, Bryce Young could use some more weaponry, so I could see him 8 to Carolina. If Shador's gone, I mean, my Saints, we could use more weaponry, so I could see him going there potentially. I mean, hell, maybe even the Bears, like, because with Keenan Allen out of there, they could use another weapon.
I don't think the Bears are going running back.
I like the Cowboys pick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I say the Cowboys, if they decide not to go running back, I could see them taking him there at pick 12. And then, yeah, that's probably it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if he doesn't go to 12, because I don't really see the Dolphins, Colts, Falcons, Cardinals, Bengals. Yeah, I feel like none of those would be good fits. I feel like if he doesn't go 12 to Dallas, I think he falls to Seattle at 18, unless someone trades up ahead of Seattle, someone maybe Seattle
definitely needed
like a Denver. I could maybe Sean Payton's aggressive with trading up, but Denver, I have them getting a receiver at 20. We'll get to that in just a sec, but
I like Seattle getting a receiver here. If not, it would be like pass rush if you ask me, because they pretty much addressed a lot.
They had a good offseason, sure. For sure. And Jake Bobo, I don't know if Bakes. I feel like Jake Bobo, but he had his chance. He ain't it, bro.
Big Bobo.
He's a good depth piece, but he's not someone you want as a starter. King Tet, 6'5", 212. Yeah, he's a size guy, that's for sure.
And
King
Tet, what, fucking 6'4"? See, that's what I'm saying. He's like DK minus the athleticism. Only he's a better route runner straight out of college.
Yeah, he's a more polished receiver than DK. Yeah. DK is more just a freak athlete, though. So he kind of had to learn on the fly. But
just eats candy, DK.
Yep, Skittle.
The entire diet.
Yep, and somehow still like in excellent shape. I guess he's just God blessed him. God blessed him with great genes
and great teeth.
Yeah,
he ain't got to go to the dentist.
Hey, you never know. Maybe he got the bag. He was like, "Fuck it, veneers."
Come on now, chomper.
Yep. So all right. So next up is the Bucks. So they need help on defense, I feel like. So pick 19. I've got them going with the linebacker from Bama. We all know Bama produces big hitters at the linebacker position.
One of my guys,
Jihad Campbell, y'all. I think he's gonna replace Devin White. He's gonna be he'll be the successor to Levante David. David's still going. He's an OG, but probably only 1 or 2 years left if I had to guess. And so Campbell, they really need linebacker because KJ Wright was that the guy, Bogey?
KJ
Britt, yeah, my bad. KJ Britt, he just didn't really come through last year.
And then they got Broswell. Maybe if they don't draft a linebacker, maybe Broswell's interesting, but yeah,
I think they need to draft one. So I think Jihad Campbell, and he would be an LB1 probably right away as far as IDP. He'd be a great IDP pickup there for those of us that play IDP.
Man. We love
Todd Bowles. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when Devin White was in his prime, he was like a top 5 linebacker. And so I think Campbell, if he ends up the pick here, which they really need this position, I think this would make a lot of sense, and he would be the heir apparent there to Levante.
And Alabama used him as a pass rusher. They used him from side to side, and they used him in coverage. 100%. He could do all 3 from the linebacker position. 100%. Campbell is that guy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He has war in his name.
Talk about it.
Let's not give Jihad a nickname, okay?
No, just say his name means war. in Hebrew, I think. Jihad.
For sure. Bakes has a question for us. Eric Kendrick and CJ Mosley are still free agents. Where do you guys see them going?
Well, isn't Mosley coming off the neck injury?
Yeah, I think he's probably I don't really see him going anywhere. Yeah, I think he's cooked. I think his career is about over with. But I think Eric Kendrick's for sure laying somewhere. Yeah, I could see the Niners being a spot. I'm not really sure. I'll think maybe the Bucks. So they obviously need a linebacker. So
I mean, they brought in like Anthony, whatever the fuck, from he was from the Browns.
Anthony Walker. Anthony Walker. Yeah. He has a lot of teams. I could see him going to, the Niners potentially. Didn't y'all release Dre Greenlaw?
Yep. And he went and got a decent bag with the
Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos. Yeah. That D Winters is not a linebacker y'all got. It looks like the Cardinals, they could use some linebacker help.
They brought in Akeem Austin Garrett, whatever the fuck his name is. But from the Bengals, he's all right. Then they got Matt Wilson over there.
Yeah, for sure. The Colts, EJ Speed, he went to the Texans. I could see the Colts maybe bringing in like an Eric Kendricks to beef. Because outside of Zaire Franklin, their linebacking core is looking a little rough.
No, you ain't lying.
Oh, no, the Ravens. Y'all, the Ravens, they could use another linebacker next to Roquan.
I mean, they still got Trenton Simpson.
Right, I was about to say, Trenton Simpson.
Listen, you know who outshined him last year was Kyle Van Noy.
He got outshined. Yeah, and Kyle Van Noy is still there. Just as a depth, Kendricks at this point in his career might be better served as a depth piece, but he could definitely still start. So those are a few.
Wasn't he on the Cowboys last year?
Hakeem Davis, Gaither.
He was on the Cowboys because that Zimmer was
Kaiser White. Yeah, I brought up the Cardinals because they had Kaiser White, but he's still a free agent.
Yeah, and Mike Zimmer was the DC with the Cowboys, and Mike Kendricks was with Mike Zimmer for hella long. I mean,
Fact.
Yeah, because he might not. I mean, he was all right actually. Kendricks still put up some numbers for IDP.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, linebackers just tend to eat over there in Dallas because their DTs have been so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I was updating the ticker here, y'all. So far, we've got Shamar Stewart, edge rusher there at pick 17 of the Bengals, and we had Tet McMillan at 19 to the Seahawks, and now you got the linebacker Jihad Campbell to the Bucks. So, yeah, let's move on now to pick 20, and that's where the Denver Broncos are going to be. And I think Sean Payton's going to want to add a weapon. I think their defense is strong enough to where he's got the luxury to swing for the fences here with a potential game-breaking receiver here. And Matthew Golden is someone with his speed. I think he could be the missing piece to this Denver offense. Marvin Mims, I think, is probably just better off served as a depth piece, special teams.
A return guy.
Kind of guy. Yeah, exactly. And so I think they need someone else in that take the top off role, which, I mean, Sean Payton's throughout his time. Brandon Cooks.
I was just about to say Brandon Cooks.
That he wants a fly route kind of receiver, a guy that can just straight up take the top off the defense. But even before Brandon Cooks, way back in the day, Devery Henderson, bro. Shout out to Opelousas, Louisiana.
That's throwback. I was gonna say because
Exactly.
he had Kenny Stills and
Kenny
Rashad
Stills is
Matthews
another one.
and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Kenny Stills is another one that could take the top off. But anyway, yeah, Matthew Golden, I think, is someone that could bring some of that magic back. He ran the freaking, I believe it was a 4.29 40. I mean, this kid is blazing fast. I mean, he's seems similar to Xavier Worthy, who also went to Texas, and we saw what he could do last year. And yeah, I just think Golden he's for sure going to go in the first round, in my humble opinion. And I think pick 20 here to Denver is a good landing spot with Sean Payton's history of being able to develop these young, speedy receivers.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that because the writing's on the wall with the free agents that they took in this offseason. You went and got Hufanga. You went and got Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah, they beefed up the defense even more this offseason. They had like
100%.
one of the top defenses, but they really look stout on that side of the ball. Look like they can afford to go ahead and take this shot on a skill player.
Go ahead and invest into your young QB. Just a year before that, you went and got McGlinchey in the offseason. We invested a top 10 pick in McGlinchey. They gave him the bag. They took I can't think of the left tackle that they got. He finally came
Garrett Bowles. Yeah, he got a bag.
Yeah, 100%. So, they're already
they drafted him a cool minute ago.
They're already ready in the trenches on both sides. You know what I mean? On top of adding pieces to that defense, you got to invest into the young boy right now to allow him to flourish because he shined last year 100%.
But you nailed it though, JD. It's the young bull. You got to get in weapons right now because they brought in Evan Ingram. That's cool because schematically, we love a tight end that doesn't need to block in the Sean Payton offense. You know what I mean?
All right.
But they still need to get some youngsters. You know what I mean? Someone that can develop him, especially when you're in that division.
Yeah, for sure. You need weaponry, man. It's an arms race in that division, and so I think he would slot it nice next to Sutton and Vele, Troy Franklin, and you can have Mims still as a depth piece, special teams guy. They've got a solid receiving core going. And, of course, Ingram, they brought him in to be that joker role. He's going to have a role there. They got a lot of weapons. We know Bo Nix can sling it. He proved himself last year as a rookie. I was wrong about him. I thought he was going to struggle mightily as a rookie, but he showed he's ready to roll, and he commanded that Sean Payton offense pretty well. And so I think that he's going to take another step forward this year with all these weapons. And you bring in this, badass, fast rookie here, Matthew Golden, that's going to take him to a new level.
Only thing I'll say is that if Hampton falls, this is a good spot for Hampton as well, too, bro, because them other two running backs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're kind of weak at running back too. I have Hampton going in this scenario 12 to Dallas, but but I agree though, JD. If he would be here, he'd be hard to pass up.
Golden, opposite of CD.
Ooh, yeah. If Dallas decides that they could go Golden instead, yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you have a nice little 3 wide set with the Pooper Scooper as the 3.
Wait, what? The Pooper Scooper.
Talking about Dallas? Like if like I thought we were talking about a different landing spot if Golden was to go to like a Dallas or something.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, what would the Pooper Scooper? Wait, what happened?
Because they brought back Cooper.
Scooper?
Oh, they signed Amari?
Yeah, they brought him back.
Wait, when did this happen?
I didn't know that.
I don't know, maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Dallas did?
Maybe like a month ago.
Wait, no, he's still a free agent, it looks like.
Oh, word? Could have swore.
Let's see. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, I was like, he's kind of an enigma as far as where is he going to end up?
I think. Amari Cooper didn't get signed yet. Okay, I might have fucked that up all the way up.
Here's the thing. I don't know. Somebody was saying that they act like he's done, but I don't think he's done.
Like he retired.
No, I think they're just saying he's like he lost
like he's washed up.
Like he's washed up. Yeah.
I don't know. You know what's crazy about the Scooper is that even when you go back to his like rookie
Jalen Tolbert, he did pretty good. I mean, they draft Golden. You could have Tolbert as the 3.
Well, I'm just saying though, like going back to the Cooper thing, is that who you were saying that they think he might be done?
Not retired, just done as far as like he's not the same Amari Cooper. You know, just as
I would
far
say
as
he's almost still the same because like he always had like 1,000-yard receiving seasons, but then like they were like never consistent on a week-to-week basis. He would have like a 200-yard game out of nowhere, a 150-yard game out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
I mean, he had that 50-point game with Jameis 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Like Cooper just goes crazy. Like it's just you can't depend on him to be like a week starter, but you know you get him in the flex and you're gonna get that here and there. You'll get that WR1 finish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, this was Bakes. That was me. I said that Cooper is washed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, saying Cooper is still one of the best route runners in the NFL. Yeah, I think he's still like a solid number 3.
What week did he get to Buffalo? At the
like
trade deadline?
Yeah, the trade deadline. Yeah, he didn't really pan out over there, but
kind of hurt. But when he got on, he did have one big game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had one. Yeah, that's the thing.
It was
with
week
him.
14. It was week 14. 14 targets, 6 receptions, 95 yards, but he didn't score that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's still got a little something left in the tank. I mean, he's not someone that we're going to be going out of our way to target. But I mean, as a late round dart throw, you know, especially in best ball, if you're in a deep best ball format, I think he's a solid pick. Like
I didn't even know he
20th round or some shit.
You know, he could end up with the Saints if he's still floating around.
Nah, we signed Brandon Cooks. I don't think we want to mess with him. Yeah, we got our old guy receiver. So, but he'll land somewhere. I think so. But let's move on to Pittsburgh here at pick 21. A lot of people have Pittsburgh going QB, but I have them going defense, y'all. They could use some help in the trenches. Cam Hayward's not getting any younger, and they released the boy Ogunjobi, so they definitely need some help in the trenches there in their front lines.
What I think Ogunjobi's go?
He's still a free agent.
Okay.
So I have them taking here. Derek Harmon, defensive tackle from Oregon. I think he would sure up their trenches there, and they don't have a whole lot of glaring needs. Well, the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback's a huge need, but they could go Jackson Dart, but I think they're going to instead opt to beef up their trenches. We know the Steelers love drafting defense, especially defensive lines. So.
If Jalen or Michael isn't there for us at 11, then we need to trade back. But if they are there for us, we need to trade up and get Brown. Right here, Derek Harmon, 100%, because we need inside and outside, 100%. We need opposite of Bosa, and we need inside help as well. Malik Collins gone, Hargrave is gone. You know what I mean? We need inside help as well. And Harmon is one of these sleepers at D tackle
in that position. It's just a wide open.
I have Booker going a little later, Emil. But yeah, he would be solid too. They could use some O-line help, but I think D-line's a little bigger of a need because they have that dude coming back.
I like that a lot though, JD.
Fatanu, he'll be back.
We've been tied to him.
100%. No facts.
So you're saying y'all would take the edge at 11 and then trade up to again get Harmon
because we've been rumored to trade to 5 to get Mason Graham, which we don't need to give up no picks to go get him, in my opinion, if you still got Harmon out there. So if Jalen or Michael falls to you at 11, then you use some of that capital that you got and future capital to move back into the first round and go get Derek Harmon at the 25th if he fall to 21st.
Right. Yeah.
And the Steelers gave up a second round pick to bring in DK. So they need a second round pick, especially if they don't go quarterback.
Facts.
I like this. Make the phone call.
Yeah. So if they decide not to go Dart, they might be like, all right, we'll trade down, and they could probably get another
Milrow.
They might like Milrow.
They might like Milrow.
Facts. Yeah, I could see that. Milrow might be a good fit in that system. Yeah, it's a run-heavy offense there at Arthur Smith. Justin Fields did decent there. They had a winning record with him. So they tried to re-sign him. They attempted to re-sign him, but he opted to sign with the Jets instead. So I could see them drafting Milroe. That's a good take, JD.
Surely the starter.
Big bro.
That's gonna be funny if the Jets draft the QB. I'm gonna laugh so hard.
They better not, bro. Somebody has to
give Fields
clearly it'll be just
give Fields a chance, man. Give Justin Fields a chance. I think he deserves at least 1 year to show what he can do.
Me too.
I agree, big bro.
Yeah, shout out to the kid Justin Fields. You know what's crazy? I want to see that kid do good.
Same, yeah. I feel like he's kind of gotten screwed. He hadn't really gotten a very fair shake, but this is his shot. This is his make or break opportunity for him.
Matt Nagy, was he with Nagy and Eberflus?
Nagy drafted
him.
Man.
Yeah, he was set up for failure. Yeah, and then Arthur Smith. I mean, yeah, he's had shit for play callers. So
I mean, at least he was on a playoff team last year, right? I mean. He got
it was 4-2.
And for what it's worth, if you're sitting
shit.
like Russ with his ass,
we got in the building.
Yo, what's up?
What it do?
What's up, bro?
Nothing. I was looking for
you make it just in time pretty soon for your pick. This is perfect.
Exactly, yeah. I figured I'd pop in for that and just give a little insight and then pop back out or whatever. But yeah, I didn't see the link until right now. Thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, I texted it to you. But yeah, glad you could hop on.
Cool deal.
Gang in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Facts.
Okay.
Happy Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I think Justin Fields definitely got to sit behind Russ's corny ass for what it's worth. At least Russ is a professional. He got to see, like, okay, if this corny motherfucker could beat me in a job, he must be doing something I need to pay attention to. So I do like the fact that, you know, I mean, and that team you can't tell me the Steelers aren't like a well-run organization. Maybe they're kind of still a middling, you know, organization as far as winning goes, but he got to get to the playoffs and see what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think he could do pretty good with the Jets. Well, all right, before we move on to the pick 22, the Chargers, shout out to Lee. What are y'all's thoughts on Fields as far as for fantasy this year? Do y'all think he's a QB1? I currently have him as QB15 for redraft. But, I mean, with his rushing upside, he could easily finish top 12.
I think they unleash him this year, too. I think they allow him to get back to running big, bro. That's why they brought him in to be
that's his strength.
Starting quarterback, 100%.
I think he's 12. I think he's at minimum, maybe 12 or better.
Okay, yeah, I got him right now. I got him.
1,000-yard passer with 700 yards rushing and like 30 touchdowns combined. He's a back end QB1 or maybe even like between 8 and 12 easily. You know what I mean, just depending on how the
I got him in the range of like Kyler, like Herbert, Kyler, Bo Nix, Caleb, Jordan Love, Stroud, Fields, the Brock, Dak, Drake May, all those guys. It's tough to rank those guys. I feel like they're all very similar.
I think I got all those quarterbacks above him.
Okay, so you're a little lower on Fields. Okay.
So no, I ain't gonna say that I'm lower on him. Is that his rushing ceiling is higher than all of them. Now his passing,
his passing is
gonna
lower
hit for
than all of them.
3,000? Is he gonna hit for 3,300 with a 750 ball on rushing? You know what I mean? A 22 to 25 TDs. 10 interceptions and maybe 7 to 10 TDs on the ground. Now that's almost a 4,000 season with 35 TDs. Mm-hmm. Are we going to get that? You know what I mean? That's my only thing, you know, but he has the opportunity to do that. But a lot of them quarterbacks that you named above him can throw for 3,500 and 30 TDs and 10 to 12, 15 INTs, which put them as low end QB ones, you know what I mean? They don't got the 40 to 10 INT ratio to 4,000 and above. They don't got that right there. And what will put Fields above them is being able to have 25 throwing TDs, 10 rushing TDs with almost 1,000 rushing yards with 3,000. That's a 4,000 season with almost 40 TDs. That's how he gets elevated. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that this first year with them.
I think I would have him above Kyler.
Yeah, for sure. I take that. No.
Yeah, no, Kyler's already said Kyler's trying to run more this year. I think Marv Harrison will be better this year.
And Kyler's a much better passer than
I think Kyler, I might have Herbert a little too high. I admit I might bump Herbert down.
I like when you have Herbert.
But I have Herbert pretty high compared to
Herbert could finish
consensus.
higher than
But
that.
I think Herbert, the reason I like Herbert is because Herbert really came on in the stretch last year. Herbert did a lot better for fantasy in the second half.
With QJ and Palmer and
Palmer's with
not
Buffalo
talking about
now.
Lab. We don't got to
They
talk.
big
And
Mike
Disney
Williams. They brought in
Smart
Mike
with 2
Williams.
T's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there
Will
ain't no
Dick.
disrespect to none of them, but we need some weapons over there in San Diego. I mean, in LA for Herbert to completely flourish in this fucking offense over here, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I got him. I actually have them.
They're going to be a run first team like we expect. I guess because now that I think about it too, they didn't get to like 35 pass attempts on average with Herbert until JK went down. Because when JK was working, they were running them. You know what I mean?
And I love it. I love it that they're a run first oriented team, because with Harbaugh and Roman, when they had Cap, this ain't Cap. This dude is pushing the ball down the field and can deliver with accuracy. So if we get one more weapon, whether it be a Loveland that fought in him, or one of them wide receivers, a Golden, or Luther Burden, or
is it Jerry Rice's son?
You know what I mean? Whoever fought to them to add to that, I think this opens it up. That's why you bring in Najee on a 1-year deal, $9 million, because the league average for running backs is about $9 to $10 million a season. You know what I mean? So he getting his bag for 1 year. So you gonna run him. I think that's all they need in this offense, especially if it's not in the first round, it's in the second round for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see him going that in the second round, because in the first round, pick 22, I have him going Mike Green, edge from Marshall, who I believe is nation in sacks this year. They really need another pass rusher opposite Khalil Mack with Joey Bosa now out the door over there. And so I think they address that here in the first round. Mike Green, a great value. A lot of mocks have him going higher than this. So I think if he falls in their lap at 22, they got to pull the trigger.
With Asante being out, walking in free agency, Will Johnson not off the board. The ties in him and Will Johnson, the number 1 cornerback.
Oh yeah, that's true. Michigan
he's the
guy,
cornerback. Besides, I mean, he's the number 2 because Travis Hunter the number 1. You know what I mean? My bad. But Will Johnson with the ties to the head coach here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could see that too. I just think Mike Green is they need edge as well, you know. So that's just it's close though. I'll admit it's close.
That is a glaring spot, both of them. The corner spot.
I think you're happy. You'd be happy with that pick, Lee. I mean, Mike Green's a freaking beast. I mean, Will Johnson too. I got the corner from Texas going to the Cardinals.
That's what the said.
Jihad Brown, I think was his name, but
Jade,
my bad. Jade, yep.
It used to be an R&B group named
Jade.
He used to be an R&B group named Jade.
Oh, he wants Kenneth Grant. Okay. Well, sorry, Lee. I mean, the Chargers defense was good last year, but I feel like y'all got a lot of needs on that side of the ball. Y'all lost a lot in free agency, so y'all could go a lot of different directions. But yeah, anyway, I mean, it's one of those deals to where. Any thoughts, Peacock, on what they do with this?
I think me and the couple of mock drafts that we did last week, he kept picking receivers because he doesn't have faith in, I think, QJ out there.
Yeah, I mean, and this and that, Luther Burden's still on the board. Emeka Egbuka still on the board. So, yeah, there's still some receiver options if they want to go receiver.
I could see them going to Stanford kid because he's totally different from what Ladd is.
Scottish lad.
Who's the Stanford kid?
Alec Allamore.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Books is not the Stanford.
He's like
Books is Ohio State.
He's like he's a bully. He's like a smaller Anquan Bolden like motherfucker. He's a bully out there, bro.
Because I could see Jim Harbaugh liking that. You know what I mean?
Oh my!
I don't think he would pull him up in this.
I could see Kyle liking that too, bro.
Oh, you ain't lying, bro. In the second round.
Mama. 100%. He's a fucking bully out there, bro.
And we are aware of that kid, Stanford. You know, he's local.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh,
Oh,
the
they just had
Stanford guy.
the local pro day at Levi's. What's today? Saturday,
word.
Sunday? Yeah, they had that shit like I think Wednesday. The local pro day. Stanford was there. San Jose State was there.
Yeah, we should do that one day. So I might got the line on some of those, where they have the little sweet things at the stadium. You know what I mean?
Oh my mama.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we gotta do that.
But yeah, the Chargers could go a variety of ways. They all brought up some good points about Will Johnson, who actually have going next year to the Packers at pick 23 with Jair Alexander getting older. They definitely could use cornerback help. So if they get blessed enough to land Will Johnson, who it usually goes higher than this, I got him slipping a little bit, but that's not a knock on him as a talent. It's just the way the board fell. But I feel like if he's still there for Green Bay, they're going to run to that podium.
Yeah,
I ain't mad at that. Green Bay don't take receivers in the first round, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the Books, Burden, whoever else, you know what I mean?
they
They
take the
don't gotta
Books.
worry
Give
about
them the
the
Books.
Green Bay, bro. Oh my mama, they don't take them. So yeah.
I want the Books to land somewhere where he's like notable to draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Green Bay wouldn't be a bad landing spot for the Boots. Christian Watson's likely going to miss most of the season, so they definitely could use help there. Although, I mean, they still have, Reed, Dobbs, and Wicks. So, I mean, they not like the cupboard's not completely
John
bare
Winston.
over there as far as, we
Dante.
got, who is Howie or Bears? What up?
What it do?
What's up, bro?
Can I get a witness? He said.
What?
What's happening?
Hell yeah. Appreciate you pulling up, Brody.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, man. But yeah, to me, this is an obvious one if Will Johnson's there because they need cornerback help. But I think Jair is going to stick it out. But I mean, he seems to have lost a step there as far as he's not like the shutdown corner that he used to be.
He needs to get smaller hats.
Igbuka will end up with Stroud or in Seattle. Imagining JSN and Igbuka. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That'd be pretty nice if Tet's gone. I could see them going Igbuka as a backup plan. And Howie's saying Green Bay rumored to be trading Dobbs and Jair for Tyreek. No way. There's no way Miami would agree to that. They would have to throw in some picks.
Now's the time to get him. You know why? Because of all that shit that's going on with him. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Dobbs might be a little down. Yeah, he's getting. Although I don't think he did anything like legally wrong. He just on some.
It could be just a bad pub, right? All around.
Yeah,
and then also like you're just like, all right, screw it. You know what I mean? Let's see what we can get from.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he might just be like, all right, we need to get him out of here.
Why not?
Yeah, pick.
Okay,
yeah,
for sure. And get the weapon.
Yeah, I mean Romeo Dobbs would be a solid piece to the Mike McDaniel offense. So. And then, yeah, they could get a weapon at 13 at that point. They could draft Tet or Matthew Golden there. So, although they really need offensive line help.
So Stu Scott days. They need Stu Scott.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace.
100%.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Come on now. Oh, my mama. Them is facts. That's
he was doing a baseball one, and I don't know who was at the plate, but the guy was going to hit a home run, and he was like, I don't know, it was like Mark McGuire said, I'm not a player, I just crush a lot, right when he hit the fucking ball. It was awesome.
He was on his big pun movement right there. What's my boy named Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
How he wants to know, JD, what's the dog's name?
Oh, there's Nova.
What up, Nova?
Nova, the baddest out the crew. She know how to jump a 3-foot fence or climb the 3-foot fence.
Let's go.
No, everything.
Like, so cool, we're keeping that one.
She be on
the one that's going to be the headache. Trying to get out.
Facts.
Right on. So yeah, let's move on to Minnesota now at pick 24. Shout out to Dennis and Marty. And yeah, I think the Vikings, they could go in a variety of directions, but they need safety help. Harrison Smith not getting any younger. They need help at that position. So I have them going with the top safety in the draft out of South Carolina, Nick Eamon-Wara.
Yeah.
Yep.
The safety.
And they lost Cam Bynum.
Yeah, they lost Cam Bynum. I was about to say they don't really have a surefire starter. opposite Harrison Smith. But with this, you draft this kid, and I think he'd be able to start right away.
You get Bynum signing?
I can even
I
see
think
them
The
with
going,
Colts, I think.
Johnson
Yeah,
too,
yeah, I
right?
think
he
the
signed with
Indy.
Indy.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
took,
yeah. Yeah, they
Travarius
signed.
Ford.
Yeah, and Charvarius
That's where he
Ford.
landed
Yeah,
too.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
now he's with Luan Romo, coming from the
yeah, that's a good
Bengals, and
landing
those
spot.
safeties were always good for us in fantasy, bro. So
Yeah, Jesse
I like that
Bates.
spot a
Yeah.
lot for our man Cam Bynum. He's actually more closer to my cousin than any of the other players. He actually have my peoples.
That's right. Talk about it. Nova 3 times. So everything.
Nova. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like the hey, Nova was a good car too. I like the Chevy Nova.
Yeah, Chevy Nova.
You can swing multiple donuts in one of them.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
no,
think we're
bro,
all in
I-
agreement. That is a pretty
Nova.
good pick. So let's move on to Peacock's Texans. And I've got your Texans going. I know Igbuka would be great here. And I almost mocked him, y'all, but I actually got y'all going with a different Ohio State player, and that's the offensive tackle, Josh Simmons.
Simmons.
Yep, got y'all going
I think-
Simmons. Keep beefing up that O-line. I know y'all brought in Cam Robinson, but, you know, he's get a little long in the tooth, so I think y'all could
Oh, I
draft
like that
Simmons
Cam
here.
Robinson pickup. That's a good pickup, actually.
Yeah, that was a good pickup, but
Yeah, I
I
didn't
mean,
know
I
that
think
they did
this will really reinforce it with Tunsil traded. You know, could use some help still on that part. You know, in that unit. So I think Simmons would provide the help needed to get y'all's O line back to where it
Give
needs
me
to
the
be.
books.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
that's
Pete?
good.
Would you rather the Books, or you think y'all need to keep beefing up the trenches?
For fantasy, yeah, the Books would be great, but judging it how, you know, I think like everybody is expecting them to go offensive line. I think I put it in the chat earlier, like who the visits were as far as some top names that we saw. So they have been exploring like any possibility. There's been some pundits and experts that are like, don't be surprised if, you know, if the guy that they don't like isn't there, that, you know, they'll pivot to something else that we've kind of, you know, scratch our heads with. Or if they don't feel comfortable, they may even trade this pick and trade back for some multiple picks in the second and third rounds or day 2 picks, because that's really where they've had a lot of success. So they call it the sweet spot. If you look at some of the things they've done in the past, the guys they've drafted there, I think like Christian Harris is one of those guys, Tank Dell, another one, some H2O, some of these guys they've moved around, traded pieces to kind of either move in and out of the second, third round to go get players that they like at value instead of being pigeonholed or forced. Because 25 is a weird number, and it just depends on what Green Bay and the Vikings do at those picks right in front of them, because they might be able to be, like I said, I think if Ibuka's there, it's really sexy for them to do and take somebody on the offensive side, but it just depends on what Kaylee wants to do and personnel wise as well. We have a new offensive coordinator who's there, coming from the Rams, and you know, in the past also he worked with the Patriots, and so he was there during those days when they did, you know, they did the dual tight ends. They had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. They also had the dual slot. They had Amendola and Wes Welker. So maybe they do go some sort of like offensive weapon here, but it's really wide open at the same time. So it just depends, like I said, on what the teams do right in front of them to see who's there. I don't think that EE would be there, Ibuka, at this point. Like in every mock I've done, people have taken him before them. I think if this was me in your mock here and he's available, I would jump at the chance to have another receiver there, because Tank Dell won't be playing football next year, most likely at all. And we haven't really seen John Mechie or Xavier Hutchinson like step up. So I don't
go healthy for an entire
or have Nico Collins healthy for the entire year. It's been 3 years removed since we've seen 1,000-yard receiving season from Christian Kirk. So I think maybe just getting that
guy who can't play the entire woo wop.
Yeah, and then
looking back on this, it seems like Ibuka would probably
give him the books.
But
I
got
wait till where I have the Books going, and y'all might.
I got something else for the
rocking with
pseudo,
me.
big bro. I got
I
something
like
else.
Simmons. Simmons, but he has some injury history. Simmons has, so I don't know what other offensive linemen you have available that I might also take a look at. I know that
maybe the Texans like that.
Y'all need to bring in any
history
center
right up our alley.
And see, that's why Howie said Zabel. Zabel is one of them top rated guards.
Yeah,
as
Zabel.
well.
Yeah.
But also I got
the only knock on Zabel is he's a small school guy, but other than that, like he's like solid interior beefing up that line. And then they just kind of play around with that tackle position and see maybe if Titus will move over to the left side, maybe Blake Fisher, who they drafted 2 years ago because he was a rookie last year. He played pretty well at right tackle, so maybe they'll shuffle things around. And then they brought in a ton of like 1-year deal veteran guys also. So I think that they have the flexibility to maybe not go offensive line or take somebody who could be a prospect like Zabel as well. So it just depends. Like I said, I like the Simmons pick because he's like polished and everything. It's just, will he be healthy or is he going to be, hold up health wise? That's the only knock I have on Simmons.
Yep, but, and I got something for y'all too, though. The other 4 teams that pick ahead of y'all don't need the quarterback. So if Jackson Dart and Milroe was still on the board, y'all the sweet spot for somebody to trade right there to jump ahead of, them other teams, because you got Abdul Carter going to and Travis Hunter going. So them 2 teams still need young quarterbacks, so they might want to jump in at that 20 spot.
I didn't think of that. Like I said, it's a weird spot. It's a weird spot, and Nick Caserio's been known to.
He's been known to have trades with the Browns.
Yeah, he's known to move around the board and take extra picks, and then and do pretty well finding talent in the second and third. So I'm really interested to see what Houston does. But let's say they do stay put. I ain't mad at the Josh Simmons pick because Lord knows we need offensive lineman help, or we got to just figure it out. So if we have a young guy in there for 4 years who's going to be solid and can come and start right away if he's healthy, then I'm all for it.
Yeah,
no complaints here.
Heard that.
Yeah. Tupac.
But CJ Stroud, bounce back season, hopefully with a new offensive coordinator and just getting the offensive line straight. I think that, hey, we should see him, kind of at least return to form, because the sophomore slump, a lot of factors in that one, not necessarily all on him.
Lord knows.
Come on now.
Yep. So at pick 26,
he looked like he never sleeps. Caserio. Howie, that's right. Shout out to
Crip Rock. He'll bring in brothers. Crip walking for Christ, man.
That was I already forgot his name. Oh wow!
It was like a spiritual leader or something for the team.
Yeah, I already forgot his name. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
A pastor or something.
I'll remember it later.
All right, so pick 26, we got the LA Rams, and they could go a lot of different directions here. They're in a pretty good spot. They could be another potential like Wuka landing spot because they could use some receiving help next to the Poops and Devontae Adams. But they also need cornerback, so I've got them going Maxwell Hairston, the best available cornerback here out of Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't even know who the other defensive backs are over there. Taylor Rapp.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Like their defensive backfields. They got the boy who's good.
They got the young boy Bishop.
Darius Williams is a hitter.
Taylor Rapp is gone. So they got Caleb Bishop, and then they got
Akella Witherspoon, Kobe Bryant. Yeah, they've got some guys, but I think they could use some help there. And I think Hairston's
from other teams.
And they got DeMar Hamlin on the low, so he's more like he's got like a depth piece.
Wait, I thought he re-signed with Buffalo. He re-signed with Buffalo, DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, but he re-signed for like.
Yeah, we're talking about the Rams. We're talking about the Rams right here, not Buffalo.
Huh? Oh, I thought you said Buffalo's trading up in here. My bad. My mind's.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, no, this is the Rams. Yeah, pick 26. I didn't do any trades in this mock.
They got over there. They got Cameron Curl.
Darius Williams is their number.
Oh yeah, they brought him back. Yeah,
Akella Witherspoon is a veteran.
And it was Tre'Davious White that they traded for at one point.
Yeah, I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah, they shipped him off during the season.
Yeah, he didn't pay.
But they got nobody there. Bill Johnson. This is a good spot right here. I hate that landing spot.
Yeah, I think this makes sense. This makes sense for him here. Pick 26, but I think Double E would be a pretty good pick here. It's just he would kind of have to wait his turn as far as like he wouldn't have an immediate impact. But I mean, he might be able. They play a lot of 3 wide sets. I mean, he could maybe beat out 2-2 as far as being the number 3 over there.
I think he's good enough to come into a team at its pause and start as the 2.
Yeah, it's just he ain't beating out Devontae or Puka though.
Yeah, and Devontae gonna be there for another year at least.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I have him go in the cornerback instead.
Bill Johnson, skip pick.
For sure. All right, so next up we've got the Baltimore Ravens, and they have this edge, bro. The fucking the Boston College kid, Donovan Ezeruaka. If I said that right, I probably did. My apologies, but I got him going here at 27 to the Ravens because they could use some pass rushing help, man. They got let's see, they got Van Noy and Odafe Owa, but I mean they're both in contract years.
They get production out of Mabuke, but he's a
right. He's an interior presence. They need edge help, so I think they get it here with Donovan from BC. He was a guy that had a lot of sacks, and I think he's a good pick right here for them. A great value for sure. I feel like.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that pick. That seemed like one of their picks unless they go the other. Did you have the safety from Georgia off the board already?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so
I think he's from South Carolina. Was the safety?
Baltimore always does well with any defensive player they select.
Yeah, everything. That safety from Georgia is supposed to be nasty too. You know what I mean? We was talking about
him and Kyle Hamilton together.
Yeah, on everything.
That'd be nasty. Yeah. But yeah, I just think edge would make sense for them here. So yeah. All right. So now we got the any thoughts on that bogey before we move on?
Nah, they need pass rush for sure. So I like that pick.
Heard that. So now I got the Lions at pick 28. And they actually could use some O-line help, especially at the guard position. So I have them going with the best available guard, Tyler Booker.
See, that's somebody I would have liked the Texans to select. He's solid, and he's from Bama.
Right, yeah, maybe that's who y'all go with there instead of Simmons. But I feel like in the chance y'all go Simmons, I think he's a very solid pick here for Detroit, being that they lost somebody in free agency to where they kind of have a hole at right guard. And I think this kid would slide right into the right guard starting spot. Excuse me.
Other than that, somebody on the other side of Hutch, you know what I mean? Fucking.
Oh yeah, the edge. Yeah, if the Ravens don't take this kid from Boston College, and then the Lions would for sure take him.
Yeah, because they're definitely they were in all the conversations of trying to trade for motherfuckers or like bring someone in.
Zadarius Smith. There's rumors they might bring Zadarius Smith back.
Yeah. He would be dope if he's opposite.
Yeah, Kevin Zeitler went to the Titans.
Yeah.
I think Booker would be perfect if he's there.
Yeah, Booker's a great pick.
Hell yeah.
I like his toughness. He has a good low center of gravity. He anchors well in the interior. He, he doesn't overextend. He picks up stunts well. I've seen some of this. I've done a lot of offensive line looking that way. I'm not surprised when Houston selects an offensive lineman. At least I know who he'll be, right? I've seen tape.
Yeah. You got some scouting. You did a scouting report. That's what's up.
I've scouted more offensive linemen. I'll tell you this: I've scouted more offensive linemen than I have running backs or wide receivers combined, probably.
That's awesome. Someone's got to do it.
We need to protect old Stroudsy. For all the Strouds across the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, give him some fucking time. I think if you give him time, he's excellent.
Yeah, we've seen it.
He flashed it as a rookie. We'll see if he can bounce back here in year 3. But speaking of flashy rookies, man, Jaden Daniels, what a rookie season he had. And at pick 29, y'all, I see the rich getting richer. The Washington Commandos in the slide and select Double E, Emeka Egbuka. a freaking lethal 3-wide set would form here with Terry, the Scottish lad McLaurin, as well as Debo. And that's just, man, if he falls this far, I don't know if he'll fall this far. Looking back on it, I probably should have had him going higher in this mock, but I have him slipping a little bit here, and I don't see him. If he does slip this far, there's no way Washington lets him fall any further.
Yeah, I think he's very polished and well-rounded. I think he probably will go a little higher than this, but yeah, if he falls, somebody better, any team that needs a wide receiver too, who has a questionable wide receiver too. You know what I mean?
You know,
here's a hot.
Really hating that landing spot for reality purposes.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they definitely need pass rush. I mean, who doesn't need pass rush? But yeah, they definitely like tell me who do they got, right? So that's the one argument I'd have, but that would be dope because you get Books, who's a totally different receiver from any other guys they have. I mean,
yeah, I think Books would really complete their receiver room.
Yeah, like McLaurin was still McLaurin. If you ask me, he still hasn't lost his speed. You know what I mean? If you can get him, and then you got these other phases on the field that are gonna be occupied by some bad motherfuckers now. You know what I mean?
They traded away Daimi Brown, so they need to replace him.
Yeah, he brought back Noah Brown. I think Noah Brown is currently penciled in to be their 3, but I mean,
Antonio.
Right, yeah. Right, yeah. So they could use some help there. So yeah, if Double E's gone, maybe Luther Burden from Missouri could be a potential pick here.
If he's still floating around, those guys are going to probably fall a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he's probably more of a day 2 pick. So yeah, maybe they'll take edge here, and then if Double E's gone, they'll probably go best available edge, and then they'll take a receiver on day 2. I would think.
If you have a feeling you're going to be a day 2 guy, do you go to the thing live? Like if you're a player, would you?
I don't know.
Day 2 is prime time.
Probably not.
Day 2 prime time though.
Yeah, day 2 still prime time, and
you ain't lying.
If it's early day 2,
he is left. Yeah, Zaki is left. But he had Luke McCaffrey. Yeah, he could end up the number 3 over there.
I'd go, but I'd be super casual. Like I got a suite there with my family and friends. I was just chilling.
And pull up in some shorts. Pull up in some shorts and shit. Fuck that suit. This suit's gonna be the first round.
Day 2, baby. Yeah.
There's no way. I don't think Hampton's falling this far.
Like I wore a suit last night, but I didn't get selected today. I'm in the Gucci slides.
Come on, facts. The slides with the.
I'll be the motherfucker in there. Yeah, I'm wearing the same suit. Okay,
I ain't slept. I ain't slept. Oh, my mama, team no sleep till I get drafted.
Hot take, Lions trade Monty to Bears, and they take one of the Ohio State running backs. I could maybe see that. I kind of doubt it, though. I think Monty Burns is there to stay in Detroit, but I guess you never know.
He was hurt, and he was like, I'm just going to play through this. Give me 50 different opinions, Doc, so I can get cleared.
Yeah, that was stupid. He probably should have just gotten surgery. So yeah, he might not be himself. But I mean, he'll have had time to heal, though. I would think he'll at least be like he'll probably score his 10 touchdowns or whatever. But that's Gibbs' backfield, though.
That's Gibbs' backfield.
Facts. Exactly. But if he would go back to Chicago, maybe he'd be a little better. But I don't know. I think Detroit's still a good spot for him, even with Gibbs being so dominant. Monty still was a solid RB2 last year when healthy.
Samson interesting for him to be one of the next running backs off the board early in the second round. You know what I mean? Samson, Henderson as well.
Yeah, Henderson, Judkins. Those are the 2 Ohio State guys, and then Johnson of Iowa. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole gang of running backs that I think go on day 2. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Lions are going to be real anxious to do that. Or the Bears, I mean, they're not going to be too anxious because they'll be able to get a running back on day 2. And, speaking of the Bears, we got Crooked Commish in the house. What up, Crooked?
What's up, bro?
Commish, appreciate you,
the Crook's in the building.
Yeah, we'll probably be on about another 20, 30 minutes if I had to guess. Yeah, probably not too much longer. I got to go get dinner going here before it gets too late on my end, but so probably not too much longer. But yeah, definitely want to have you on soon, Commish, and Yeah, next show, we hopefully an evening show. I tend to like the evening shows. So, yeah, next evening show, we'll be sure to hit you up and have
This is
you
a nice
on,
little
bro.
spot for you, Spencer, right here, the Sunday night spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this a weekly thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know last Sunday I like fell asleep early and I was like, oh, I had to watch the show Monday at work. I was like, what the heck? What did I miss?
Right. Yeah, we did a whole this 1-16 mock last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad you could catch the replay, man.
For sure. Glad I could be here for the second part, part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, part 2, man. So yeah, we're on the pick 30 now. The Buffalo Bills. Now we're on to the Bills, Bogey. Now we're on to the Bills.
Yeah.
And I've got them going defensive tackle here. Walter Nolan from Ole Miss beefing up the trenches there.
Who do they have? Epenza, or what's his name? Or Epenza?
Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver's their main guy, but they use help next to him. So I think Walter Nolan's would be a good pick for him here.
This is like a DT enriched draft, so yeah, I can see them taking one. If not here, they're going to take one eventually. So this is a good spot right here.
Yeah, commissions in. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah,
I definitely see them taking defense because they made it happen with the offense that they had, the players that they had around them, and they was putting up points galore, 100%. And there's nobody else. I mean, if you go birding, you know what I mean, if you don't feel confident in what you got over there, you did lose Amari. Well, Amari's still on the free agency, on the market, but still though, feel like you want to replace him or run with what you got. Oh, they lost Mac too.
Yeah, they lost Mac Hollins. They brought in Josh Palmer.
Right. And they gave Palmer some money too. So there.
They gave him some money. Right now they got Shakir. They extended Shakir. They got Palmer. They got Keon. They got Curtis Samuel. So they got
taking no receiver.
Yeah, that's why I have going Walter Nolan. Yeah,
they ain't taking no receiver for sure.
Right, and not in the first round. I think they will at some point, but not in the first. I think they need defensive tackle a little more.
Recycling. We got the recycling tomorrow. My man.
Oh, all right. You're good. It's late over here. Shit.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I was thinking it's late here. Yeah, let's keep it going. We got 2 more picks to go. Pick 31. The Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, as we saw in the Super Bowl, really need offensive line help. Mahomes got in there. They got exposed. Mahomes didn't have any time to throw. So I think they're going to beef up that position and go with Josh Connerly, offensive tackle from Oregon. Yeah, I think he's a good fit here. They're going to go offensive. They're just going to go best available offensive lineman, whoever falls to him, and he's the one I have fallen to him here at pick 31.
Sherman is probably going to creep up on Andy Reid's shoulder and tell him to pick a running back.
Yeah, repeat of Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I don't think they will. They really need offensive tackle. And they brought back Kareem Hunt. You got Pacheco. You still got the IPOC, Carson Steele.
They brought in Elijah Mitchell.
They brought in. Yeah, they're not taking no running back.
Oh, my mama.
They're going to tell Andy Reid, no cheeseburgers, no running backs.
You draft a running back, 0 cheeseburgers. Oh, whoa.
All right, fine.
Let's
I'll take the offensive tackle. Gosh, yeah.
Let's not get rash.
Right? King D in the house. What up, King?
What's up, bro?
Stand up.
Guru Nation. Appreciate you repping, bro. Yeah, but yeah, I think this pick, I think they're just going to take best available offensive lineman. So,
the missed facts. What I've been seeing, Josh Simmons falling to them.
Yeah, who would you rather for the Texans, Connerly or Simmons?
The Bama kid.
Right. Or Booker, the Bama kid.
Yeah, I'd probably go Booker if I had to choose between tackles, right? Guards. I mean,
Booker's
just if I had to choose, a solid interior help, I'd probably go Booker. If I had to choose between tackles, it's still a toss-up, but it's the injury concerns are what scare me about Simmons, but I think he's still really solid. We can get past that. But, I had those reservations about Stingley, and look at what happened.
Yeah,
I was worried about I was worried about his injuries coming into the draft, and now he's like, the best quarterback in the NFL. So
And he was the first cornerback drafted.
the Chiefs have more running back depth than the Niners. Yeah, I agree, Bakes. The Niners are thin at running back.
yeah, so I'm still not mad at it. I'd probably still lean Simmons in that situation if I was going to have to choose between tackles. But give me Booker if I'm going guards. If I had to go guards and Booker wasn't available and I had to go guards, I also like Zabel, Gray Zabel.
Gotcha, bro. Gotcha.
But he just didn't see the competition. Like he's a smaller school guy, but when he played against, I think it was it Penn State? I think it was when he played against Penn State, he still like tore them up, So he held his own.
Senior Bowl?
What's that?
Was he at the Senior Bowl?
I didn't look at his I don't think I looked at it.
He might have been at their Senior Bowl too, bro.
A lot of guys are getting the Senior Bowl. I mean, the Texans are there looking at him. Trust me, Nick Caserio's there in person.
Nice.
He's throwing the ball and everything.
He's wearing his little puffy vest and his tights underneath.
Come on now. The polo.
It's kind of Belichickian.
I didn't know that. He was a college quarterback.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Nick Caserio got the Montclair vest on. He balling. He got the Montclair vest on. He can.
I wasn't just throwing it out there like.
They put those vests in the team shop, like for fans to buy also or whatever, but they're ridiculous. They're like $150. I ain't gonna buy one of those. They're nice though. I mean, I bet you they keep you warm.
Hey, back in New England, they never sold Belichick's his little cutoffs. Huh? They're like, look, all I gotta do is just cut the sleeves off. They're like
the gray hoodie.
It don't even matter what hoodie. It doesn't even have to be a Patriots hoodie. Just
hell yeah. All right, y'all. Let's cap it off with Philly. And Eagles, I mean, they don't have any like glaring needs, but a cornerback, something they could use some depth at. They went cornerback early last year and it paid off with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So I'm getting another young bull at the position in Azaria Thomas from Florida State.
Yeah, and they also traded away GJ.
Yeah, CJ. Yeah, so they need some secondary help there. They're a little thin there. Darius Slay, big play. Slay is gone. So they brought in a Dory Jackson who should be able to be a decent veteran. But
how high did they draft that kid last year?
He was the first rounder, and then DeJean was a second rounder. So, yeah, they've been loading up at cornerback. But, I mean, with Slay gone, they could use more help at the position for sure. And then with GJ gone as well, they're a little thin there in the secondary. So that's why I have them addressing it early here with Thomas.
Yeah, I ain't mad. Bless you. I ain't mad at that neither, bro. 100%.
What about
they stacked up everywhere else?
Is that safety still here?
Oh yeah. Maybe that Georgia safety. We know how the Eagles get. They always take the Georgia kids.
Georgia.
Yeah. What's that kid's name? Let me look him up real quick.
Yeah, because what they got: Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, they got a Gabe Harris. Is that it? No,
that ain't him.
Malachi Starks. That's it. Right?
Yeah, Malachi Starks. That's him.
Yep, Malachi Starks. Yeah,
that motherfucker. He's projected as a first round pick.
Yeah, right. Honestly, if I had to do this over again, considering the way the Eagles love Georgia players, Malachi Starks, baby. That lock him in. They'll probably go with him if he's there.
Blankenship over there, and they got Sidney Brown, who ain't it. You know what I mean?
That's Chase's brother.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they from Canada.
They're playing him at the wrong position, maybe.
He needs to be out there carrying the ball.
Like, you know what? You need to start returning the ball at least.
Oh, my mama.
Maybe you need to put the ball in your hands.
Yeah, I think Starks would be a good one here. But this Thomas kid is considered a really good cornerback. So, I mean, I think that, Starks, I think, would probably be a little bit better of a fit. And then they really need safety help. And they've drafted cornerbacks early last year. But, you know, both of they both good pick. Yeah, facts. All right, well, that's 17-32. Y'all, we made it through. That was some good stuff. To recap it, we have let me see, we have the ticker going down there with all the picks. Oh yeah. Before we get to that, Jackson Dart. I did not have Jackson Dart in the first round. What are your thoughts on him? I kind of think I think the Browns pick 33. I could see them pulling the trigger on him with first pick of the second round if
I
he
think,
slips
yeah, if the
that
NFL
far.
was smart, they'd also not select him in the first round. But I mean, we've seen teams reach every single year and
Yeah.
take a Will Levis or a Anthony Richardson or a you name it. You know what I mean? It just keeps,
Malik Willis, remember they thought he was gonna be a first round.
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go first. Yeah, that was smart. Desmond Ritter.
Here's my argument for that too. Like if the Browns were to like say, hey Eagles, let's swap, so to speak, and then you only give up something, minuscule from, what I mean, maybe other pick swaps as well, just to get up there, because then you get the 5 years out of it for sure. Well, I guess you do have an option, right, for a second rounder as well.
No, just the
But
first
just only for
round.
the
4
first
years,
round.
yeah, it's just a 4-year contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
could see the Browns and maybe
that's what the Ravens
swapping with the
Remember
Eagles.
the
Yeah,
Ravens
just to
did
get
that? They traded
to
back.
get the 5th-year option. Yep.
Yeah, they traded back in to get Lamar because they're like, okay, just in case he's a project, we get the 5 years on him.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I could see the Browns just did. All right, Eagles, we'll throw you a late pick or something. So we can move up one.
Yeah, like Jalen Hurts. Remember he was a second rounder, and then he actually got on the field and started producing and shit. So they had to pay him real quick. Like,
yeah, they only had 4 years. Yeah,
money. Got him to the Super Bowl. Even granted, they lost the first time, but now they won it, so it's worth every fucking penny so far.
Facts. So to recap it here, we had Shamar Stewart going to 17 to the Bengals, and we had at 18 Tet McMillan to the Seahawks, address the receiver position. At 19, Jihad Campbell to the Bucks, give him a hitter at linebacker. At 20, take the top off the defense type receiver there. Matthew Golden got landed in Denver. 21, Derek Harmon to the Steelers, beef up their defensive line. 22, Mike Green, the Chargers getting edge rusher opposite Khalil Mack. Pick 23, Packers address the cornerback position and get Will Johnson. Pick 24, Vikings go safety Nick Emanawari. If I said it right, my bad if I didn't. Pick 25, Josh Simmons to the Texans. Offensive line help for them. Pick 26, Maxwell Hairston, cornerback to the Rams, and Peacock there showing off the gear. I see you, homie. Got the Stroud,
Texans corner
joint. Yeah, that's pretty dope, bro. That's some dope gear. I'm in the process of getting my studio together as we speak.
Get it, bro. Bless you.
Bless you, homie.
Thank you.
Bogart sent me like a little miniature Stroud somewhere there.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's funny because I got me and my son, we be collecting those. We see them all the time. The little
Whoa, what up, Song? Cool MC
up,
in
gang?
the house.
Yeah.
Got my Czarface stuff over here too.
Fella.
Nice.
Let's
Facts.
get it.
Badass.
Yeah, and then at pick, all right, yeah, so we had 26, Harrison to the Rams, 27, Donovan Ezruka, probably missed. I need to work on my pronunciations of these names, y'all, my bad. To the Ravens, pick 28, Tyler Booker, guard to the Lions, pick 29, Emeka Egbuka the Books to the Commandos, pick 30, Walter Nolan to the Bills. Pick 31, Josh Connerly to the Chiefs, give them some offensive line help. And then pick 32, well, actually, we pivoted to Malachi Starks, the Georgia safety. So that's the first round, y'all. And then Jackson Dart, if he doesn't go in the first, I'm sure he'll go high in the second. It's either the Browns or the Giants.
Let's go.
One of my favorite picks is the golden pick for Denver, man. That motherfucking Bo Nix is somebody that I'm targeting heavily in drafts this year as my number one quarterback, bro.
You better beat me to him.
That's why I'm saying I'm a little more like I'm gonna maybe wait on see. Well, it depends, right? Who they draft, but maybe Drake May, man, get him some weapons. If we get a good receiver over there,
I can see myself with some Drake May staffies.
And then if Double E falls to Washington, I mean Jaden Daniels is probably outside of Josh Allen and Lamar in that early, third round, second round turn. You know what I mean? But JD5 ain't too far. And if they do go wide receiver right here, you know what I mean? It's The roof is the ceiling. If anybody knows that reference, shout out to y'all, man. That shit is hilarious.
It's the ceiling. Let's go.
Oh my God. Here's a crazy hot take from Howie. I don't know if y'all ready for this one. Niners trading Purdy and pick 11 for Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders. That's wild, bro.
That's insane.
Who said
What's funny
no?
is that like that's the cop that Diamond Joe has for Shador is that he's like,
Oh yeah, the Black Brock Purdy. That was his exact quote from last week.
Hey, what side says no?
What's up?
What side says no? Cleveland says no.
Yeah,
Right.
Cleveland probably.
Then, that would entail we're not trying to pay the kid, which is crazy too, because I think the kids are. I love the kid. You know how I feel. Don't let me answer this question.
No, 100%. And but the thing is that,
what and then Shador.
Yeah, you got these two dudes on a 5-year deal, so you got to pay Purdy. And the 11th pick, I mean, whatever you getting at the 11th, why would Cleveland do it? If I'm Cleveland,
yeah, they're not doing that. Yeah, Purdy has made the least money in history of the NFL.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he's made like so little money for how much he's produced.
They're like, now that you got the Toyota endorsement, you know, I don't know if we want to give you 50.
He gave all his offensive linemen trucks.
You feel me? Come on. He might have got a good.
He knows he's about to get paid, so he ain't tripping. He knows the bag's coming his way shortly, and he's only on the 4-year contract. So,
facts.
I think there's his contract year coming up, right?
This is it.
Yeah, this is it right here. That's why, like, you probably gotta pay him because if he get into the playoffs this year, you know what I mean. It's like okay,
yeah, that's a wrap. Y'all got to pay him out the earth.
You know what I mean? This could be like a shut the critics down run, but also like if he don't do well, that really hurts his stock. So I feel like he needs to find some happy medium if he really want to get a bag that. And when I say long term these days in the NFL, I mean look at Watson's deal. That seemed like it was going to be forever, 230 guaranteed. Now that's almost done.
Yeah, facts.
So
Watson said he's gonna come back better than ever.
I seen that he was trending.
Hello.
I also saw him say he didn't do it either. So we know he's a liar.
He meant to say he was going to come on somebody's back.
Oh, that's a big paw in the butt.
He had said it though.
Oh my God. Jesus. Enough about Massage Watson. Oh man,
that's sleeper. I was like, why the fuck is this guy trending?
Oh man. Damn, that's crazy, bro. And before we close it out, y'all, thoughts on Rodgers? What is he gonna play, retire, or sign after the draft? What y'all think?
We're better off without him.
If Lee said he might come to the States, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even think I'd want him.
Is that Jeopardy gig still available?
It is for him for sure. If he want it, he gonna get it.
They were trying to give him 50 a season to do that shit.
Taking that.
Whoa.
There's hella episodes though. It's like a real.
It's a grind.
That shit probably 5
They're
days.
still about to give him like 50 for real.
Yeah, I don't think he gonna want to mess with that. He'd be wanting to do too much ayahuasca.
Oh, he'll be on it on the show.
That's a day show, bro. That's not gonna go well.
That ain't gonna fly.
Psychedelic properties for 500, Aaron.
But if it's filmed in California, you never know. He might be all right.
Right?
They're gonna take it to higher places, if you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. You watch Jeopardy, it's just in the dark. You're like, what the fuck?
Only thing that is lit is
you still hear it?
It gets even hotter. Rodgers staying in Malibu, sharing Niners job with Shador.
This episode was filmed in front of a live Native American tribe. South American tribe.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Hey, how he got the Niners shipping Brock off no matter what.
Yeah, Rodgers and Shador.
He's like, I'm trying to do y'all a favor.
That'd be way too much drama. Coach Prime and Rodgers. Oh man, that's too many egos in one building.
Okay, we're doing it.
Bringing
In the multiverse, this has happened.
Hey, I like the other version better with Shador and Hunter. I'd rather have that than Rodgers and Shador. Fuck
y'all
that.
can still get Shador and Hunter and just sign Rodgers as a free agent.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
Okay, while we're at it, Mac fucking just ship off. We just want Travis Hunter. We're going with Mac Jones.
Uh-oh.
Fuck it.
Mac who?
Mac Jones. If we're living in a crazy world.
Oh, man. The alternate universe, it's infinite, the amount of possibility. The possibilities are limitless.
Come on now.
Shout out to the Brock. He's going to get his bag.
Oh, yeah, facts. Yeah.
Well deserved.
Oh, yeah, he will. He's a Niner. He's a Niner for sure.
Dang.
He's a member.
Goodness, Kyle Shanahan's last season. Coach Prime takes over next year. Oh my God!
My boy
Yo, really?
Fire.
He is on one tonight.
He's
Shout out
eating
to
up.
Howie. He's eating up. Yeah.
He's eating up.
There it is. Boom.
Shout out to Howie, man.
Yeah,
Howie,
for
he's
sure.
on fire, man.
Keeping the chat lit tonight. That is facts.
Oh, my mama.
Yeah,
But yeah.
He's in the multiverse for real.
Shit. Well, I think that's probably gonna do it for this episode. Any final thoughts before we close out?
Shit, man. You know what I mean? This is good. This is a good spot. The Sunday night joint. I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anytime you need this to rock.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, I'm usually available on Sunday nights. So yeah, I think we'll keep this going. We'll have more draft talk next week.
100%.
Yeah,
I hope
right? 'Cause what we
Never closer.
less than 2 weeks away. Yeah.
Facts. Bake saying Rodgers will be a Steeler. And Easter Sunday. Yeah, it's Easter Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, shit, it's Easter next Sunday. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Actually, I might be driving back to and from Lafayette, so I might not be able to next Sunday. But
yeah,
if I'm available, then we'll run it. Yeah, be sipping that honey whiskey. Hell yeah.
Oh, no, that's right. 100%.
You feel me?
Yeah, I just hope we get some fireworks the first night of the draft, man. I want to see some shit get shaken up.
I think we will.
And we definitely will be broadcasting live on the Gen Wealth Net and the Heart to Start and the Guru Nation. You know what I'm saying? Live broadcasting of all the draft. We probably gonna cover the whole room.
That motherfucker up every fucking day, dog.
We rocking.
Oh, my mama.
Christmas, couple days in a row.
Come on now.
Yeah,
fantasy perfect. Hey, draft's gonna be starting Saturday night after that motherfucking kickoff. You know, I mean, after it ends, you know what I mean?
Rookie drafts.
100%, man, on everything. So we in this joint, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Joe. I think.
PeacockMerch.com too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let them know, Peacock, what you got going.
Yeah, check out me on peacockmerch.com. There definitely is going to be an Easter sale or 420 sale coming up, so stay tuned for that. Go check it out. Type in your email. Sign up for the email list. That way you know every time a new design hits. And typically I launch those in 58 different styles, from coffee mugs to shower curtains, trucker hats like you see on Bogart there. And go pick up all your fresh Gen Wealth Net gear, as long as Spencer the Guru merch is up there as well. Pick up some stuff, support everybody.
Nation gear.
I got the Change Your Vibes gear on. So.
So pick up some stuff. Definitely original, check out. And if you want some commission artwork, just hit us up either through the chat, DM me, find it Miles Peacock 24 on Instagram. You can do that and hit me up on DMs there. And yeah, we can get it done.
Oh my God! I just realized. Not only is it 420 and Easter, it's also Hitler's birthday, all in the same day. It's like we've never seen this, I don't think, in history.
Trifecta.
It's like a weird trifecta, though.
It is.
Everybody go to church.
Yeah, I'll go to church.
We need saviors. We need the savior.
Hell yeah. But yeah, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday night, or if y'all watching the replay, have a good week. And we'll have plenty of content coming up for y'all. So yeah, stay strapped in. We got the isms, man.
You already know.
Yep.
Got the isms, baby.
Peace.
Peace.
Eureka. We make plays every day, yeah. 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 QB1 sitting in the pocket. I like to tip and talk and I rock it.